Hello everybody, welcome to this video lecture session. I am Zamir Sheikh, Assistant Professor from the Department of Chemistry, Shri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Akola. Now this topic of this today's session is electronic spectra of the transition metal complexes. This topic is particularly from inorganic chemistry as coordination, the part of coordination compounds or coordination chemistry. Now we will discuss this electronic spectra, what it mean, what are the applications of that, and related to the transition metal complexes. Now first of all, so this introductory part of this electronic spectra is this electronic spectra is nothing but there is some interaction is takes place between the complexes and the electromagnetic radiation, so that give rise to absorption, and that absorption deals with the particularly the identification of the electronic properties of that complexes. Now so any metal complexes, particularly the D series, okay, either from 3D 4D 5D can make the complexes. That complexes show the intense properties like color, magnetism, etc, etc. All of the properties can be studied under this electronic spectra. The spectra are nothing but the interactions of electromagnetic radiation with the matter. Now in case of this electronic spectra, it is also be called UV visible spectrum, because that the spectra is operate in the region of UV visible one, in the range of 200 to 800 nanometer. When that amount of light which is irradiated to the complexes, that complex having the unpaired of electron that will that absorb that energy will reach toward excited state, and when fall down to the ground state, now that time it emit radiation. So it is the origin of the colors and all that. This electronic spectra of the that metal complexes give rise to the geometry of the complexes, and in order to study that electronic spectra must gone through the what these term symbols, which are coming from what symmetries, that is point groups and molecular properties and etc, etc. Also have the what character tables and etc. So hence we must discuss the term symbols. You know that before starting the term symbol, we must know the concept of what crystal field theory, which is explained by what or which is given by what Hans Bethe van Vleck. This according to that crystal field theory, so that ligands when approach to the metal ion, free metal ion, this the undergo the splitting, and that splitting is nothing but the crystal field splitting. So basically this splitting is only occurred observed in the solid state samples, solid state metal particularly. So when there is interaction is takes place, so there is a formation of two different energy levels. One is less repulsive and second is what more repulsive one. So in this figure we are just point out that so the splitting of the d orbital by the just application of the ligand. And whenever now we have two different energy levels, this is a figure particularly from octahedral complexes. When you apply that energy to that system, so it will absorb that energy and will promote it to the next energy level, that is on what more repulsive energy level. And after the depending upon the lifetime and all that, then it will be reached to back to what is ground state, and during that time it emit the radiation. That radiations are nothing but, well, it's a complementary color. So now let's start the first part of this electronic spectroscopy is the term symbol. Now the term symbol is nothing but the symbolic representation of that element by using the electronic configuration of an atom or what multi-system atom. So from that we can identify the term symbol, which is an example of like just like the Mulliken symbol which is mentioned in the symmetry. So the term symbol is have the itself it's the energy state which is just coming from some factors. This is also be coming from this is also be come from what Russell and Saunders coupling scheme. So the term symbol can be represented in this formula 2s plus 1 l j. So well, the s is nothing but the capital S is nothing but the total spin, that L represent the total orbital angular momentum, while the J nothing but the total angular orbital momentum. So particularly that L nothing but the orbital angular quantum number, orbital or azimuthal quantum number. So it is always started from what 0 1 2 3 4 etc etc, and that also we term as about the sub energy level, that is an SPTF. Let's talk about this another part. We have just an example where the term symbols are again represented like this one. So we have coming from what spin orbit coupling either for one electron or either for the multi electron system. So we have what the capital J is nothing but the L plus S, which is just coming from what the all the L minus S to what L plus S values, thereby the total angular quantum number that J nothing but the L minus S up to what the L plus S. So another one, so where the total angular, this is the total orbital quantum number nothing but the capital L, which is summation of all Li values, and total spin quantum number nothing but the capital S, which is nothing but the summation of all the resultant, that is all the spin values. So let's move to for the free ions with a D configuration, Dn configuration. After find out, after you look at any example of any complexes, find out the first oxidation state, and after that you get the Dn system, and for the Dn system we can apply here. So in case of, for example, the single electron is present in the D system, now we have only one electron in the 5 degenerate D orbital. So now they have the possible values of Ml. There are +2, that is positive 2, positive 1, 0, negative 1 and negative 2. After that, the spin values also can, the electron can be represented in upward direction or can be downward direction. That's why we have negative half and positive half. So based on that, we have 10 possible microstates are there, that is single electron can be arranged in 10 different times. That's why we have 10 different microstates are there. And another one, we have just summarized that if your configuration is D1 to a D10, there are possible microstates are there. Microstates are nothing but the possible rearrangement, possible presentation, how many times you can present that electron in that orbital, that is nothing but the microstate. We will see in the next slides. And if we have the point, if the term symbol is 1s for example, so that can be represented as singlet S. So where that S nothing but the spin multiplicity, that is 1 nothing but the spin multiplicity that can be obtained from 2s plus 1 value, and remaining all other values are given now. So the Russell Sounder couplings is nothing but the orbit coupling, that is summation of all the Ml values that results in the capital L. Spin coupling, that is summation of all the spin values of individual electron that give the capital S, and while the spin orbit coupling, that is J is equal to nothing but the L plus S, that results in the formation of total angular momentum quantum number. And in this way we have, for example, the table is given at the left side of that slide. So 1s, 2s, 3p, 4d and 5f, these are represented L values for that, where S nothing but the always 0 value, then again 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 etc, and there are the electrons. So that spin multiplicity is nothing but the minus 1 unpaired electron. So if 0 unpaired electron is there, so the spin multiplicity should be 1. So you can have the n plus 1 value, okay, that is n nothing but the number of unpaired electron, and on the base of that L values we can find out the state, that is energy state. This is an RS coupling, oh sorry, this is an LS coupling, Russell and Sounder coupling. So we have the term symbols, again we have the same slide. This isn't the picture, this is table. On that basis we have decided that, so there are total of pairs of 6 systems are there. One is D0 D10, D1 D9, D2 D8, D3 D7, D4 D6 and lastly the D5. In all the cases we have free ion terms are 1s, 2d, okay, 3f, 4f, 5d and 6s, okay. So last one, so these are the possible possible states, okay. And there are possible total degeneracy, that is total number of microstates for that. So D0 D10 I can only one time can represent, that's why 110, 45, 120, 210 and 252, these are the possible microstates or degeneracy level. For we have D2 configuration, we have this is 2 electron, we can represent according to Hund's rule, we have to apply the Hund's rule for that. That's why we have 2 electrons which are present in the 2 separate orbitals. And for the D2 configuration, here L is equal to what, the possible Ml values. First find out the possible Ml values, positive 2, positive 1, 0, negative 1 and negative 2. Spin also we have the same, that is either for 2 electron either the spin is what the 1 or what the 0, okay. If the 2 electrons are present in same orbital which are anti-parallel position, the spin must be what the 0, but here the 2 electrons are in a separate orbital, so we have the plus half and plus half, the spin must be what the 1. So here, so there are some wrong calculations are given here. So L must be what, 2 plus 1, 3, that is L is equal to 3, because the electrons are present in plus 2 and plus 1, that is positive 2 and positive 1 orbitals, and ms must be what the 1. So there are 2 unpaired on, that must be 2s plus 1 is equal to what the 3, and for that these are the possible terms which are obtained from that. So one is 1s, 1d, 1g, 3p and what the 3f. Now first there is one question is always asked. So now there are 5 possible terms are there. Now which should be the ground state? Now for deciding that ground state, we have to first look at the multiplicity. Now higher the multiplicity, the first rule to decide that the ground state term is in highest multiplicity. Higher the value of s, 2s plus 1, that should be the ground state, that will be have the lower energy. And secondly, if for example we have 3p and 3f are the same, then we have proceed toward the L value. Larger the value of L, the higher the value of L, that will be the ground state. Okay, so in this way, so we have 3f is the ground term, particularly for D2 configuration. Relationship between that spin and just multiplicity, we have the spin and multiplicity. Okay, so if the spin is nothing but divided for individual electron, and the multiplicity is nothing but divided for the total spin, okay, must be calculated with the help of the 2s plus 1 formula. So now the very simple calculation is given here. So we are just know the number of unpaired electron first, 0 1 2 3 4 etc. 5, these are the unpaired electron. At the D system, maximum electrons are what, 5 are the unpaired, and the resultant spin values are what, 0, half, 1, 3 by 2, 2 and 5 by 2. Now the multiplicity is what, n plus 1. So whatever the number of unpaired electron, that should be, we have to add 1. That's why you resultant are what, the 1 2 3 4 5 6. So the named as singlet, doublet, triplet, quartet, quintet and sextet. This is a simple multiplicity. This is the relationship between the spin and its the multiplicity, that is 2s plus 1. We have the splitting of the terms. Why the terms get splitted? By the just influence of what, weak field again. So we have free ion terms are there, sp, df, g, h, I, etc. etc. I know that s is always monodegenerate, they cannot be get splitted. The terms in octahedral systems are what, a1, g. That g and u refers to what, the symmetry parameter. We have for example p systems is there. In somewhere we have refer the T1U, while in somewhere we are refer what, T1G. For D systems it is doubly generated and triply generated, that's why EG and T2G. While the F is what, the 7 orbital, that's why A2G, T1G and T2G. A nothing but the what, mono degenerate. T nothing but the what, triply degenerate. We have similarly we have G, similarly for H, similarly for I. These are the terms which are obtained due to the just interaction with the weak field again. For D2 configuration, we have the possible terms are what, in free ion terms we have 3f, 1d, 3p, 1g, 1s, and for each term state will be splitted, that is 3f to 7 orbitals, 1d to what, but remember that always whatever the spin gets splitted, the multiplicity should be same. For example, look at this one, 3f, so basically all have the 3 multiplicity. If we are mentioning 1d, d will be split in 2 times, that is T2G and EG, but the multiplicity should be what, the same for that. So in this way, we must remember that the multiplicity should be same, whatever the term is there. This is another splitting of the terms according to that same way. We have the same chart which is mentioned previously. The microstates. Now what exactly that microstates are referred, how we can define that microstates. Okay, microstates are nothing but the what, a different ways of arranging electrons in a given orbital of a system. It is just the process where we can arrange that electrons in that orbit. Okay, whatever the system is there, from D1 to a D10, we can arrange how many times that electron, that nothing but the what, its microstates. Microstates are just derived from what, electronic configuration. Now you always know that whatever the electronic configuration there, microstate will be the different. Okay, so that is always each in my electronic configuration always have what, unique microstates. Each electronic configuration have what, fixed number of what, microstates. That microstate represent the complete description of what, electronic arrangement. Whatever the microstates are obtained, that decided, that represent of the complete description of what, electronic configuration. So we have number of microstates can be calculated with the help of the formula n factorial divided by r factorial into what, the n minus r factorial. So where that n nothing but the twice the number of orbital. We have for example s, we have to twice, that is 2. If we have p orbital, we have to just twice, that is a 6. If we have d, we have 10. If we have f, it is 14. So where r is the number of electrons, and that factorial is nothing but the what, it is a function. So factorial of a number is a product of that number and add the positive whole number below it to down 1. So for example, we have just mentioned the 3 factorial. So that is 3 factorial, nothing but the 3 to what the down to 1, that is 3 to 1, 3 into 2 into 1. So in this way we have 3 examples are given now. 3 factorials nothing but the 3 into 2 into 1, while 5 nothing but the 5 into 2 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. In this way, that is nothing but the factorial. So whatever the multiplication number is given, so that will be the it's the total result of that factorial. So here for P2 configuration, number of microstates should be, so you know that P is nothing but the orbital having the 3 orbitals are present, and we have to just twice, that is a 6 factorial, divided by 2 electrons into what is 6 is again the number of twice the number of orbital and minus 2. So the results in the formation of what 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, again divide by what 2 into 1 into 4 3 2 1. So there are 4 3 2 1 and 4 3 2 1 get cancelled. 6 into 5 30 divided by 2 into 1 2. So basically what here results in the formation of total 15 microstates are obtained from that. Okay, and that 15 microstate is the particularly, that means the 2 electrons in p orbital. Okay, for example carbon, so you can represent that the carbon electron in what 15 different ways. Another example for the D2 system, any system having 2 electrons. So how can we take this example of that particularly? We have, this is the configuration, 10 factorial divided by 2 into 8 factorial. So 8 and 8 get cancelled. So 10 into 9 into 8 divided by 2 into 1. So basically what 45 times you can represent that system now. So in this way, so we have this factorial, and based on that microstate we can represent, or we can arrange the electron in this fashion. So here the number of microstates in for p and d systems. So we have, this is the 2 charts are mentioned here, so that indicate the summary of p orbitals as well as what d. So you know that the p1 always is symmetrical with p5, because p1 having 5 holes while p5 having 5 electrons. So one hole always equivalent to what, to 1 electron system. And for d electron configuration we have this number of microstates are like this. This is a 2 table that summarize all p and d configuration. You must remember all these numbers. This is the summary, where it's p1 always equivalents to p5, p2 equivalents to p4. Similarly we have d1 equivalents to d9 and etc etc. So these are the microstates and these are the symmetrical configuration. Hole formalism. So according to that Hole formalism, so that Pn must be equivalent to p to the power 6 minus n, that is or d to the power n, nothing but the what d to the power 10 minus n. So basically where that n nothing but the number of electrons, thus we can simple from this 2 equation we can simple says that p1 is equal to p5, p2 is equal to p4. In same way d1 is equal to d9, d2 is equal to d8, d3 is equal to d7, d4 is equal to what, d6. We have this p1 and p5 system, where in p1 1 electron 5 hole, and while p5 5 electron and 1 hole. So in both the cases what, and according to that Hole formalism, so always we have what in the spectroscopy, electronic spectroscopy, an electron is equivalent to what, the hole. 1 electron is always equivalent to what, the n hole now. So basically p1 p5 and d2 d8 are what, somewhat symmetrical. That's why the term symbols microstates are always common for that systems. Correlation of the term symbol of free ion and the octahedral complexes. So this particularly this table is just copied from what the symmetry, particularly this is a part of what inorganic chemistry, symmetry and this molecular properties particularly can be calculated, can be done with the help of that symmetry parameter. So that atomic term sp, d, f, g are having possible degeneracy 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and the terms which is come from symmetry in octahedral systems are A1G, which are always monodegenerate, that is T1G, triplet degeneration, etc. Now just remember that A or B are the terms which are come from monodegenerate system, E nothing but the double degenerate system, and T nothing but the triplet degeneration. Based on that we have splitting is there. These are also we call Mulliken terms, Mulliken symbols, that Orgel diagrams. So next part of the electronic spectra is nothing but the Orgel diagram. So how could explain that transitions which are occurred from one level to the another level by the just application of the light, okay, that can be explained with the help of that Orgel. So that Orgel diagrams are very useful to understand the spectra of high spin complex. You know that high spin complexes are nothing but the weak field systems. Weak field system nothing but the ligands are weakly approaches to the metal ion. So there is weak interaction between the ligand and metal ion. So such type of the complexes, they obey the Hund's rule, and that's why they show the paramagnetic in nature. So that all these terms which are mentioned to high spin complex, and we can explain that spectra of high spin complexes with the help of one and one only Orgel diagram. So an Orgel diagram is nothing but the two-dimensional plot. Okay, so it is a graph. Particularly on x-axis we have ligand field strength, while on y-axis we have what the energy state, that is an SPDF. Whatever the terms are arises from that term symbol, that can be plotted on a y-axis, okay, and the ligand field strength on what the x-axis. So in this way we can represent that Orgel diagram like this. We can understand the spectra of metal complexes of various D configuration from D1 to D10, okay, with the help of that Orgel diagram. So now we'll see which type of the complexes can be studied, can be understand with the help of that Orgel. First, combined Orgel diagram. So in this this diagram we have the term is D. The term is what? D. The systems are given here, and the transitions may be you know that according to what crystal field theories, we have octahedral and tetrahedral complexes are there. In both the cases what the splitting is quite different, okay. In octahedral system the less repulsive system is what the T2G, okay, while in tetrahedral system the less repulsive is what the E orbital, okay. And based on that we have two different diagrams are there. Now right side half diagram and left side half diagram, which mentions that right side for example belongs to octahedral, so left side belongs to must be tetrahedral. And similarly, so we have some complexes are given, okay. On right side we have D1 octahedral, D6 octahedral, D4 tetrahedral and D9 tetrahedral, while in the left side we have D1 D6 tetrahedral and D4 D9 are the octahedral, okay. Why this is happen in this case, and before that we must know the deficiency rule. Whenever a deficiency there must be an activity. This is called the deficiency rule. In D1, so we have the electronic configuration is what T2G1 and EG0. So in the case of this type of electronic configuration, you know that, so you must just find that, so T2G1 and EG0, that T2G1 and EG0 is nothing but the what, we have 5 hole and 1 electron system at the T2G level, while in EG there are 4 holes are there. If we just eject the electron, this electron get transferred from what T2G to EG level, now results in the formation of what T2G0 and what EG1. Now look at this system now. So T2G becomes 6 hole system, while EG becomes what 3 hole and 1 electron system. So basically, so there, whenever there is a deficiency there must be an activity. That's why the electron is get transferred to EG level, and EG becomes more stabilized than what the previously one. So basically the electron transfer is always occurred in D1 complexes, and that's why this type of transition is occurred from T2G toward the EG. Similarly we have D6, again we have electron transfer is there. We have D4 and what D9 tetrahedral. In both the cases what whole transfer is occurred. Now whole get transferred, okay, to attain the stability. And similarly we have left side diagrams are D1 tetrahedral, D6 tetrahedral, D4 octahedral, and lastly what D9 octahedral. So this is the first Orgel diagram which covers the almost what 8 complexes, 8 spectra of the complexes having octahedral as well as the tetrahedral system. Before that you must take the example of any complex. Just for example D1 system, that is in the titanium H2O6 titanium hexa complex of 3 positive. So you can take this first diagram of first half right side diagram of this Orgel, and only one transitions are appeared for that, and that's why only one peak is results in this spectrum in first Orgel diagram. Now moving to the second combined Orgel diagram. In second combined Orgel diagram the term states are different. So here the term states are what F and P. Whatever the multiplicity should be mentioned here, okay. I'm not mentioned here the multiplicity because it's a general diagram. Again right side and left half side. So both half sides have opposite complexes particularly. So in right side T1G at the ground state, while in left half side A2G at the ground state. So at the right side we have D2 D7 octahedral, D3 D8 tetrahedral, and left side D2 D7 tetrahedral and D3 D8 octahedral. And these are the transitions which are possible for the left side from all the transitions, particularly from A to G to T2G first, A to G to T1G, and then A to G to T1GP. So now T1G and T1G, one T1G from one T1G, that is I'm just talking about left side half diagram, okay, because these transitions are particularly from left half side. So this T1GP, T1G both are opposite, that is one from P term, second from the F term. Both are what repel, okay, they cannot be crossed together, and there is repulsion is occurred somewhere, okay, some extent of repulsion is occurred, and that's why the third transition is due to the A2G into the T1GP. Now moving toward the right side, so there are two possibilities are there. One possibility is what, all the transition must be from T1G, no doubt at all. So T1G to T2G, then T1G to A2G, and lastly what T1G to the T1GP. These are the three transitions. In some time what the T1G is before than what the A2G, like just example. So another that transitions are what, T1G to T2G, T1G to T1GP, and T1G to the A2G. So these are the possible transitions, particularly the dot nothing but cross area, so where these two states get crossed, because they doesn't have same multiplicity, that's why they can be crossed, they cannot be repelled. So in this way, by using that second combined organ diagram, we can again explain the 8 complexes of what octahedral as well as what the tetrahedral systems. And this is very useful diagram, particularly we can refer the general diagram and just take some unique example of all the metal ion complexes by just mentioning the each individual term state and all that. So here in the case of this second combined organ diagram, we have 3 different transitions are occurred now, and that's why we get the 3 different peaks in the spectrum. So first combined organ diagram, only one transition, and that's why we have only one peak. But in case of this ones, we have 3 transitions, so 3 peaks should be appear now. So let's move toward this TS diagram, that is some applicable, you can have some advanced one from that organ one, that's called the TS diagram, Tanabe-Sugano diagram. So that what are the first features of this diagrams? This organ can be only applicable to only high spin system, but this TS diagram, that is Tanabe-Sugano diagram, explain the spectra of both high spin and low spin complexes. This organ diagram can be just is a 2-dimensional graph, again plotted by what E versus, that is energy state versus what the Lagrange field. But here this E by B, which is plotted on y-axis, versus what F by B is plotted on the x-axis. Now particularly here, that B nothing but it's a repulsive parameter, that is called what the Raka parameter, okay, which is mentioned here. The ground state is always at present, that must be coincident with the x-axis, that's on the Abhisheka, and the other energy states must be plotted relative to it now, okay. And basically we are showing that diagram of what any system by just comparing this organ as well as what the TS. Look at this ones, for D2 configuration the organ diagram is look like this fashion, okay. The multiplicity is 3p, 3f, 3ap, etc. Now we are not having from 0 level, always all the energy levels are on the x-axis, on the what, on axis, okay, not on the ground state, that is on 0. But in case of what the TS diagram, so we are starting from what is 0 level. So this is the difference between the TS diagram and simple what the organ diagram. Both have the same kind of transition and all that, but we can explain the more accurate information, we can get the more accurate information from that. So let's move the some example of the TS diagram, particularly for D2 system. So the TS diagram for D2 system, so in this when we have now just imagine that, so we have 10 configurations are there from D1 to D10. Now D1, D2, D3 and D8, D9 and D10, in this cases we cannot have the separate high spin and low spin system. A always we have what? High spin low spin is equivalent. That's why for D2, now we have TS diagram of D2. Sometimes the question is asked, explain the TS diagram of D2. So we cannot have the high spin and low spin complex of D2, because for D1, D2, D3 and D8, 9, 10 all have the what? Same arrangement of the electron. That's why you cannot get the separate high spin and low spin complex. So particularly for that, there is no different systems are obtained from that, and that's why in both the cases for the splitting level is same, energy levels are same, so you cannot separate by D2 system by orgel and what the TS. In both the cases what we have what same configuration, that's why we have the same diagrams are obtained. Okay, just we have presentation is different. Okay, we are always starting lower level from the what the that will be coincidence with the x-axis. Okay, that's why you cannot separate it now. But for different complexes, other complexes like D6 or for example D4, D5, D6 or D7, we have separate TS as well as what the orgel diagram. So in the case of this electronic arrangement for this system is different. So for D6 we have both the arrangements are different. In high spin complex we have electronic configuration of T2G4 and EG2, while in low spin we have T2G6 and EG0. In both the cases the magnetism is different, so term symbol will be what different, and from that we are splitting is different. And now for low spin complex where the term is what 1I. Okay, and similarly we have the splitting is pattern is there for what the D6 system. So you must remember this diagram. Okay, this is always for 1I. In a high spin system there is no any kind of what more splitting is there, only one type of transition 5D from 5T2G toward the 5AG. And finally, so when this complex is shifted toward low spin, so there is a splitting is occurred and there are so many transitions are possible. So selection rule should be there. Every transition should be followed by some rules, and that rules should be must be given by every spectroscopy technique. They give the rules now, and based on that rule we have what the transitions. Okay, if any transitions are allowed, for example if obey that selection rule, it must be allowed, and all the allowed transitions should be what the intense peak in the spectrum, while all the forbidden cannot be shown or cannot be appeared in the what the spectrum. Now there are only two selection rules are there, particularly for that electronic transition. One is what spin multiplicity should be same, that is del S should be 0. So whatever the course of a transition, so the multiplicity should be same. And the next one, that is called the what the Laporte forbidden. Laporte nothing but the one del L is equal to plus minus 1. So there must be a change in the what the orbital angular quantum number, that is from S to P is possible, P to D is possible, D to F is possible. Okay, S to S cannot be possible, P to P cannot be possible, D to D cannot be possible. So now based on that we have simple this Laporte forbidden transition. That's why all the DD transitions are spin allowed and Laporte forbidden, because in Laporte, so we are not going to change that L value. Okay, because one D to another D, so if there is no change in D value, there must be a same L values there. Okay, and according to that rule we have one L value should be changed, that is what del L is equal to plus minus 1 should be there. Okay, so in this way we have these two selection rules are there like this. And another is what so parity should be changed during the course of our transition, that is a G to G and a G to U now. Okay, so we have the simple example 4A2 and 4T1, these are allowed. Why? Because 4 are same, that is during the course of our transition the spin is what is same. And last one is 4A2 to 2T2, because the spin is not same, that multiplicity is not same, so del S is not equal to be 0. So that's why this is a forbidden transition. The some rules particularly for relaxation, particularly just like the spin orbit coupling is there, some vibronic coupling is there now. Okay, and because of that, so we have some time. Okay, the selection rule get violated and they show the what some intense peak. Okay, one of the best example for this okay is charge transfer, where we are have the different types of transitions are there from ligand to metal, and ligand always have what p orbital. So P to D, that is what L values changes during the course of a transition. So the charge transfer transitions are spin allowed as well as Laporte allowed. The spectrochemical and nephelauxetic series, we can have this both, particularly that is for identifying the there are two factors are there. Whenever any complex is formed, the spectrochemical series is most important, because type of ligand decided the splitting. Okay, And after the formation of the complex, now the electron cloud is expanded or not is depend upon the nephroxytic series. Okay, so there are two factors are there now. One is now, so first of all, any BD transition that can be determined by two parameters. One is ligand field parameter. This is due to the spectrochemical series, and secondly we have what electrostatic parameter, that is repulsion between the electrons in the d orbitals. Okay, and that is nephroxytic effect. So for an octahedral and tetrahedral complexes, only one field parameter is needed, that is 10 dq, and for a given metal ion, the different ligands, the value of what the del is must be based on what this series now. That is what the type of what ligands are influenced to the metal ion, that will get splitted. And always you know that the higher the ability to form that ligand bond particularly to the metal ion, so it have the more splitting. So based on the spectrochemical series, CO, Cn and NO2, that is an that is what carbon donor ligands are particularly the strong field ligand. And we have simple order is there. So we have strong sigma and pi acceptor, that is an NO, CO, Cn is there. They have strong capacity to make the back bond particularly with metal ion. Okay, rather than there are other ligands are mentioned here. So the ligand field parameter is totally just depend upon what this series. The spectrochemical, and again we have next part is the nephrostatic effect. The electron repulsive. Now I just mentioned that a free metal ion and what the complex, particularly in both the cases what the electron density on the metal is differ. In free metal ion, the electron density is concentrated on what is some specific orbital, some specific region. But whenever the ligands are approached to the metal ion, so there is a formation of what the bond particularly between what the metal orbital and ligand orbital. So due to that reason, the electron density on the metal will be get distributed over the area or the region, and that's why the repulsive parameter get decreased now. So always remember that the complexes have the less repulsion between the electrons in the metal ion than what the free metal system. And we have these parameters can be mentioned in the what that's called the ABC. We have just that is too complicated particularly here, so that's also be called the Raka parameter, and that can be calculated on the basis of the some formulas and all that. So it is found that these values can be obtained by just using that complexes. Okay, and the value particularly for the complexes are always smaller than what the free ion, because the repulsion I just said that in complexes what there is a bonding structure between metal and ligand, so electron density is what the expanded, so that effect is also called what the nephroxytic effect, or that's also called what the cloud expansion. Here that repulsive factor which is always less in complexes than what the free metal ion, and the decrease in repulsion which arises due to what, that simple again, because the area is increases. Okay, just due to the metal ligand bonding and all that. And we have the simple formula that beta is equal to what B complex divided by B free ions. One series is also mentioned here, that's called the nephroxytic series, that will also be decided the type of what expansion, that is beta depend upon the metal and the ligand. And we have that ligand series is fluoride ion, water, ammonia, chloride, cyanide, bromide and iodide. Based on that we have also find out this reflection property. So the weakening occurs for the complexes because the occupied molecular orbitals is delocalized over the ligand and away from the metal ion. So simple, the electron densities get distributed. Okay, and that's why it's also called the cloud expansion. And a small beta values indicate that large measure of electron delocalization on the what ligand and has significant covalent character in the complexes. Now this theory explains that the metal ligand bond is what the covalent character. Okay, and according to the crystal field theory, it's purely what ionic. So there are so many evidences are there. One of the best evidences given by what nephroxytic series. Second evidence is given by Eversar spectroscopy by IRCl6 complex. In that complex, the electron density is not only present on the chloride, okay, not only present on the what metal ion, that is iridium, that will be also be distributed on the chlorine also due to the metal ligand bond formation. So there is a formation of the covalent linkage between that, and that indicate that the metal ligand bond is not purely ionic. So another type of this spectra which is always common in electronic spectroscopy, that's called the transfer spectra, charge transfer spectra. So something is transferable. So in case of transition metal complexes with the octahedral geometry, the most important type of electronic transitions are what DD always. Okay, But in this case of a dd transition, we are just promoting that, we are just transferring that one electron from d level to what, another higher d level. So during the course of a transition, spin is retained, no doubt, allowed transition, more intense transition, but Laporte is forbidden, because we are not changing the L value, that is azimuthal quantum number cannot be changed here. Okay, and due to that reason, dd transitions are what, weaker, less intense than what the other type of transitions. Okay, and now the complexes show the some complex show the intense color, still there is no d electron is present, so there must be some chemistry is going on, there must be some different mechanism in that complexes. Okay, they have what, they have we can call the highest color, more intense color property shown by that complexes. There are so many examples are mentioned here. Okay, and that complexes doesn't have a d electron. Okay, but in that complexes they appeared in the what, intense region of what, UV spectrum, that is red, for example, purple, etc, etc, orange. So that exceptionally behavior of that complexes, why the complexes show the deep color, that indicate that the selection rule is obeyed by that complexes, and during this course of a transition the selection rules are obeyed, and due to that reasons we have called the complexes are show the more intense color. Let's start with this example of that charge transfer spectra. There always have we have this example, chromium complexes, KMnO4, K2Cr2SN, etc. In all the complexes, what there is about the existence of the charge transfer phenomena, or the most deep color. Okay, complexes are shown here. Okay, and it is just due to the transfer of what, electron charge from what, the ligand to metal ion. In case of what, the ligand, so there is a p orbital is there, and p to what, d transitions are change in the L. Origin of the spectrum, this type of transitions are very intense in nature as compared to what, the other transitions such as dd. The reason for their intensity is the fact that they are fully allowed transitions which are very high value of molar extinction coefficient, that is epsilon. The following table show the differ in the value of epsilon for the various transitions possible. From the table it can be seen that charge transfer bands are quite profound as compared to what, the dd transitions with large e values. Okay, this is a spin forbidden, dd transition, Laporte forbidden, and spin allowed, and charge transfer. We are just look that the epsilon max is nothing is given here. So 1 less than 1 for dd, we have 1 to 10 or 10 to 1000, but for charge transfer we have what, the fully allowed, that is 1000 to 50,000. Okay, our example is magnet ion. So there are so many types are there, particularly ligand to metal, metal to ligand, etc, etc. These are the some types of the charge transfer spectra, ligand to metal and metal to ligand. We have metal to metal is also be somewhere mentioning here. And in this way, this is the course particularly which is I just mentioned in this one. Okay, if you like this or you are satisfied with this content, particularly for the electron spectroscopy, so you must subscribe and share my particularly this is for electron spectroscopy, you must share. Okay, if you satisfied with the content and all that. Okay, thank you very much for listening this